Where have you guys been this whole time? Where did you go? I'm kidding. I know it's me. It's my fault. I'm the one who hasn't posted in a minute. Those of you who know why, you know why. Okay? Been busy in a good way. But today I want to bring it back in, get things back on track. And I want to talk about a topic that came up with one of my one-on-one clients this past week in relationship, in talking to a girl. This topic came up, and for those of you who don't know, I am a masculine identity coach. I have a focus in polarity, masculinity, relationships, dating, motivation, overcoming addiction, purpose, and all of those things flow from establishing who you are, your self-perceived conscious identity, and then from that flows results in those different areas that are all very important to men, all rooted and grounded in biblical principles. So anyway, if you're interested in that, there's links below, whatever. Subscribe, like, all that. Okay, so my client brought up this topic, and he didn't name it this way, but it reminded me of a very common red pill phrase. And for those of you who don't know, the red pill is kind of like the bitter, knee-jerk reaction to feminism, third wave feminism of like women's sexual empowerment and women being the same as men, basically, and almost anti-men at the end of the day. There was a time where feminists didn't necessarily equate to anti-man, but there's also been phases where it kind of looks like it is that. And if you study the early writings of feminists, then you'll see where that comes from. But the red pill is kind of like the bitter, jaded. You never see a red pill guy that looks truly happy, you know? Or if he is happy, he's happy because he's being immature and he's playing the field. He's not happy in a monogamous marriage, okay? Name me one red pill guy that looks happy in a monogamous marriage. Good luck. But the red pill gained a lot of traction because it exposed a lot of just truth about female nature that a lot of voices were not willing to acknowledge. And I'll be real, back when I was going through my pain, the canon event with women, when I was going through my pain and I was looking for help in church circles, in Christian circles, in Christian manhood books and all these sorts of things, I found good scripture. I found good advice on how to be a good Christian. I found, decent advice on sacrificial love as a husband and all these things. But what I did not find was practical help that really exposed how to deal with women, like super practically. And the red pill honestly scratched some of those itches in an embarrassing type of way, because the advice that comes from red pill is jaded. It's not biblical. It's sometimes unbiblical, anti-biblical, void of morality, psychologically manipulative. There's some whack stuff there, and I don't ever recommend it, but we do have to acknowledge truth where it exists. And even though this is presented in a very cringy way, it's worth talking about. And you need to be the alpha male in this scenario. I cringe a little bit even saying that, but here's the phrase. It's probably in the title somewhere. Girls make rules for betas and break rules for alphas. They make rules for betas, but break them for alphas. What are we trying to say? Girls will make standards, rules, lists, check boxes, boundaries. She'll do all of those things. She'll make all of those things, usually in a place of singleness, sometimes in a relationship. She'll make all these rules, all these boundaries, all these things she will and won't do, all these things she will and won't tolerate, all these things that she will and won't be attracted to in a man, what her list is for an ideal man, all these different things. She will make rules for betas, but break those rules for alphas, or at least be willing to. She doesn't always break the rules for the alpha, but she is willing to because of who he is. And I'll get into that more First of all, the red pill's using this triggering language like beta versus alpha. It's all cringe. It's all fruity and corny, honestly. Let's think about it this way. Forget like general beta alpha comparison in the male hierarchy. Let's not think about that. Think about it this way. Does she really like you or does she not? That's kind of what it is. Does she really like you or does she not? If she really, really deeply, instinctually, intuitively, from her soul is attracted to you and likes you, you're an alpha male in her eyes. And that's all that really matters here, right? Because this is not a channel where a bunch of players are coming together trying to go pull more girls at the bar. Okay? If that's you, you're clearly in the wrong place. This is a channel speaking to men who want to pursue a biblical approach of marriage and a biblical route to marriage, honoring God, honoring the woman, honoring themselves. That's who we're talking to, okay? So you want to be the man that she really, truly, deeply likes. And by the way, men, if you're listening, there are multiple women out there who, when you become the best version of yourself, or even just when you're on the path to becoming the best version of yourself, I promise you, I don't care who you are. I don't care how ugly, how short, how out of shape, how poor, all the stereotypical things that women look for or don't look for. I don't care where you exist on all those things. If you are pursuing growth, if you are locked into purpose, if you become masculine, if you find your confidence in God and you are moving in the right trajectory for all those things, then I guarantee you there are multiple women who will see you as him, who will see you as that guy. Truly. Truly. We could argue about soulmates, if that exists, whatever. It's kind of fun to think they exist, I will say. But there are multiple women who would see you as that guy if you're doing the right kind of things, if you're on the path to becoming the best version of yourself. So that's what it means by alpha. Girls will make rules for betas and break them for alphas. Said a less cringy way, but also less clickbaity. Girls will make rules for men that they're not super attracted to, and they will break those very same rules for men that they see as him, as that guy, as that's my man. And this is a feminine thing, okay? This is how the female works. Now, they've been taught to be strong, independent. They've been taught to be self-governed. And in modern society, that's kind of a necessity, unfortunately. We're getting married much later. Back in the day, 150 plus years ago, most of human existence, women were getting married at teen years. Okay, it was very normal to get married in your teens as a woman and as a man. Okay, we've messed it up. There's a lot of advantages to young, virgin, pure commitment. One partner for life. One person who sees you naked, one person that commits to you for life. There's a lot of advantages to that we've messed up on. And one of those advantages is she has to grow up and be an adult and be independent unless she just like lives with her family indefinitely, which some do. There's advantages to that. But she has to kind of make rules, you know? She kind of has to say, okay, like when I am vetting, because it's not arranged marriages anymore here in the West, when I am vetting, what is my list of things? When I am dating, what will I tolerate? When I am pursuing marriage with a man, how long do I want to spend in each stage? How long should a talking stage be? How long should a relationship be? How long should I wait until I get engaged? How far should I go with this man physically? You know, what type of treatment do I expect? What will I tolerate? How tall does he need to be? How handsome? How jacked? How masculine? How confident? How smart? How articulate? How high does he need to be on the social hierarchy? What does his hair need to look like? Women have a lot of these things in their brains, okay? Women have a lot of these things in their minds, checklists and rules that they're making. And here's what happens, guys. I'm just going to get right into it. I'm going to talk about 3 or 4 different areas that they have these rules and how they make them for guys that are not super into, and they break them for guys that they are super into. So it's good for her to have rules because there's a sense in which she needs to be autonomous. She needs to be self-governed. And here's what happens, guys. Super real. Not going to mince words here. When she is vetting guys normally, when there is a normal, casual, everyday, whether it's on a dating app, whether it's guys who approach her at church, whether it's guys who approach her at a coffee shop, whatever the case may be, there are standards and checklists and analysis that she's going through to categorize him. For the average guy, that is a sign that she's not super attracted to him. Okay? If you find her like obsessing over, well, let's take things slowly. I want us to start out as just friends first. Hey, just so you know, I don't think we should kiss for XYZ amount of time. Hey, I'm really busy this week, but let's schedule something for next week. If you find her treating it like she has these standards that she's bringing, and you kind of need to meet these standards, she's really not that attracted to you. I hate to say. Now, sometimes, and I've seen this, I've experienced this multiple occasions. Sometimes they will pretend like they have rules, but they've already in their minds broken those rules because they're trying, right? Like they'll say things like, yeah, I really believe in taking things slow. And it's like complete nonsense. Like they're saying that, but they're deep down inside, they're ready to go like very quickly. Or they'll say stuff like, hey, I really think that we should, not have XYZ physical contact before marriage. And maybe they do think that, but they're just saying that because they're trying to have rules, but they're already ready to break them. That's not a good example. I'm not saying that we should celebrate that, but like that is the case. They will like have the best kind of intentions in their brain, but it'll go out the window for the right guy, for better or for worse, honestly. And it has to do with, does she really respect him and like him at the same time? Women need both to be attracted. They need to respect you and they need to just like have a crush on you in general. And they can't decide those things. Here's the part that people don't talk about. Women don't decide that. They don't sit here and, do I like him or do I not? If they're sitting there thinking that, they don't like you. Or maybe they do, but it's conflicted. And you don't want that, bro. Trust, you want a woman who really likes you and would be willing to break certain rules for you. Now, you don't let your mind go in the gutter. I'm not saying that like, oh, you should try to sleep with her before marriage and that should be like a test. That's messed up. That's manipulative, okay? But some of them would. There are some super sweet Christian girls who they've, had purity their whole lives. They've never messed around, maybe never even kissed. But if they find a guy who they think is walking with the Lord and who is strong and wise and, hits all of the buttons that they need, it's not a decision. They're just going to be attracted to him and they're just going to respect him. It's just something that happens. It's not something that they like journal about and like figure out on a spreadsheet. It just happens. And when that happens, a lot of girls will act a fool and do things that they might regret if they're not careful. So guys, be careful with this. So like, I get angry even thinking about it. There's a lot of men out there who don't know how to treat a woman's commitment and respect with fragility and care. A lot of women are trusting of that masculine presence, and they allow themselves to be used and abused. Maybe not intentionally by either side, but they allow themselves to put themselves in positions where they're going to make choices that they're going to regret, because women are naturally just more receptive and more trusting. And so do not use this in a manipulative way. But at the same time, it's important for you to learn to recognize, is she making rules for me? Is she bringing rules? Like, is she analyzing me based off of all these rules? Because if she's in that analytical, hey, do you meet these standards? Hey, these are my boundaries. Hey, this is how it has to be. She doesn't deeply, instinctually like and respect you. Because if she deeply and instinctually likes you and respects you, then there's this thing that where like the lists and all of the boundaries and stuff are like, yeah. Hey, I really think that, we should spend a solid 3 months before we make anything official, okay? All right? You know what I'm saying? Like, she might still voice those rules, but you're going to sense this undertone of, hey, I'm just trying to like live righteously here. But there's openness. And you can learn to sense when that is the case. I've seen it, to be honest. Not every girl I've talked to has seen me as him like that. Okay, so I've seen both. I've seen it to where she has some kind of hesitation. And guys, if that's the case, you don't need to take it personally. Sometimes you never really know what it is. Sometimes a girl just doesn't feel safe with you. Maybe you intimidate her in some way, and so she doesn't feel safe, so she can't feel attracted. Some women can only feel attracted if they don't feel safe, which is messed up too. So don't take it personally if you're not that guy to her. You're going to be that guy to somebody else if you're on your path. So don't worry about it. But learn to notice, is she making rules for me or breaking rules for me? So we talked about like the physical boundaries. Obviously be super careful with that. Be very God honoring with that. Don't test those. Don't be dumb, okay? The attraction rules, she has, written somewhere her ideal height, probably how you dress, the type of job you might have, the hairstyle. And not every girl has every one of those things, but every girl has some of those things that she's like thought about. And for some of them, it's like they're self-aware enough to know that that's their type and that's just genuinely what attracts them. But for a lot of girls, a lot of those things on the list, they're going to go out the door when they just have that instinctual attraction and respect for a man. When that happens, the rules that she's created in her head start to become less important. And here is why. She is stepping into his world. It's a feminine thing. It's a submissive thing. It's a masculine, feminine polarity thing. When she identifies a man and her heart and her instinct just automatically start respecting and liking him, the rules that she has created start to fall away because she steps into his world. She is happy to let go of her own need to manage everything, and she is happy to step into his world and let his rules become her rules. It's a healthy thing. It's a natural thing. Now, should they completely disregard their own integrity and values in the process? No. Do many of them do that? Sadly, yes. And they get burned because of it. So, I mean, you don't want a woman to break literally all of her rules for you. That would be, again, not appropriate and unhealthy. But you want to be the type of man that all of the secondary and tertiary preferences and rules and timelines all of the sudden become negotiable. Whereas she's vetting all of these guys and managing her relationships with all these other guys through all of these lenses, and she's hesitant and she's reserved and she's like setting up targets that they have to hit to move forward. Bro, if she's doing that with you, if you get that energy from her, that is probably a sign that she's not that into you. And I'm just going to warn you, it doesn't mean she won't marry you. It doesn't mean she won't say yes to a ring. She might. And this is where we get in trouble in church. There are a lot of women who do marry that man. There are a lot of women who do marry a man that they made rules for. And he was a good boy and he stuck to the rules. And so he got her hand in marriage. And he got the privilege of paying for everything, of taking care of her, of bearing her burdens, of seeing her on her good and bad days. He won the prize that he wanted. But she wasn't fully ready to give it to him. He had to meet these checks. He had to meet these targets. And she kind of had to convince herself to do it. Now, I do want to say God can and does and will bless those marriages. Okay, if a marriage was formed with two people doing their best, trying to submit to God, not perfectly, but trying to submit to the Lord, moving in the right direction, and it just so happens that the man was kind of a simp and the woman kind of settled, you know what? That's not the best starting point, but God can still bless that, all right? So no need to judge anybody. No need, if you're married watching this, there's really no need to analyze, oh, what was it for me? It's not going to help you, okay? If you're married as a man watching this, like, just become him, bro. Become a dog. Let the inner dog come out. If you need help doing that, talk to me. I work with men all the time who have suppressed the inner dog, and it just needs to come out, all right? It's going to be fine. Don't stress. This video, though, is mainly for the single men, because what I don't want you to do is to get so excited that you got some attention from a pretty girl, because this happens. I see this all the time. Guys will get so stoked. Oh my gosh, a girl went on a date with me. It's hard out there for men. I know. It's not hard for all of us, but like for a lot of us, it is or has been. Okay, I get it. And I work with clients, some of whom have no trouble getting women, some of whom have trouble talking to a woman, all of whom have trouble attracting high quality women who are wife material that they also are attracted to. That's the missing piece. Whether you're smooth talker, got the charisma, or whether you are shy and clumsy, you're all struggling with the same thing. Where are the high quality ones? Because the guys who get tons of girls, the girls are not the problem. It's where are the high quality ones? How do I attract the high quality ones? Okay, it's all the same issue. And to you guys, I want to speak this. You need to be able to tell that she is willing to break rules for you, that she is willing to uproot her life or change her behavior or adjust her timeline or, adjust her lifestyle for you. And if you never sense that, and you always sense like you're having to work around her schedule, and which a little bit of that is fine. I'm not saying she has to drop everything. But if you consistently feel like, okay, she's not trying to work around me or work with me. I'm trying to work around her, work with her. I feel like there's these boundaries being set and these lists being communicated and all these things. If she's doing that, then she doesn't see you as that guy. Okay? I'm not saying she won't still marry you. I'm not saying she won't still make cute posts about you on social media. Guys, women will make posts. Women will post about a guy out of pity, already knowing that they're going to break up with him. They will 100% do that. It's savage. Okay? Women will marry a guy that they're not truly attracted to because he does something for them that other guys haven't. It's crazy. They will marry a guy who maybe they're really attracted to, but they don't respect, right? They will do all of that stuff. I need you, my man, to be the type of guy that she likes and respects, that she would be willing to rearrange her life for, be willing to break some rules for. And if you want to become that guy, if you want to know whether or not the girl sees you as that guy, maybe we should talk. Again, the dating relationships thing is only a piece of what I do, but that is often a pain point for the clients I work with. How do I find a good woman? And for most guys, that's the main issue. It's like, how do I expose myself? How do I put myself out there in 2026, post-COVID, post-Me Too, in a world of dating apps, in a world of social media delusion, in a world of podcast girlies blowing smoke up each other's butts? Like, how, in a world of promiscuity and debauchery, how do I find a good woman? You can't even go to church and find a good woman a lot of times. How do I do it? We can handle that. We can help you send the right signals to attract the right types of attention. People don't understand how to do that. I do. We can work on that. I've had success with tons of people working on that side, men and women actually. Tweaking how you show up, tweaking your identity that produces the outcomes, that produces your vibe, that produces the demeanor that people see and are attracted to. We can do all that stuff if you're interested. If you're still watching the video at this point, I would assume that you might want some help with that. You got to ask yourself, why are you watching this video? You got to ask yourself, why are you continuing to do things the same way if it's not working? Because another video won't fix it, bro. The reason I make YouTube videos is not because they actually change anybody's life. They provide helpful insights, but you have to do the change. And sometimes you can't see the change you need to make because you're inside yourself. It's hard to read the label when you're in the bottle, okay? So if you need help, or if you could use help, which all of us could, there's a link in the description below to book a call with me. Worst case scenario is we chat and I give you some low-hanging fruit you can work on, but I never even do a sales pitch in that first call. So it's going to be free. I'm not going to ask for your money. I'm just going to connect, see if there's anything I can identify for you out of the gate. Book a call with me below, man. I'll see you soon. For the rest of you, dude, it's been too long. I don't even know which episode this is. It's 40 something for the boys. Y'all take care.